Hi dear students. Today's topic is about the writing research paper precisely. And in this presentation we'll talk about the writing points of the research paper. Here you can see the content of our presentation, and while writing, the first point which we will try to discuss is about the reason for writing a research paper, and the next point will discuss the structure of the research paper, and it means how to build this research paper, and the publishing process of the research paper. And another interesting point of our presentation is improving your written reports, and some key elements and terms you will be requested. So here let's get started. So why writing a research paper is important? So first reason, requirement for successful graduation. Of course, any kind of universities demands the writing the research paper, and our university also is not excluded with such kind of demands. And the next one is requirement for being valuable brand and to get reward and to be recognized to everyone, and to disseminate knowledge, to gives you an academic profile, and publication enhance your CV and may help in gaining employment. So here the structure of the research paper here is given, and the first point you should give in your research paper is title. Yes, giving the title, and the next the author's name and affiliation should give. And abstract is important in the introduction part, of course, and the keywords and the introduction into the literature review. And as you know, the literature review is some difficulties of the research paper, in this means that you should read lots of books, and you should gather the information related to your topic. And the methodology, next, materials and methods you are requesting to the students in the research paper you should give, and results and discussions of your research you should give in this part. And the next point of your research paper should be conclusion, and of course acknowledgement and reference must be given. So, and next is title. What is title of the research paper? The title should contain main three elements: the particular aspect or system studied, the variable manipulated, and your contribution and methods. And what the title must be informative and very clear and specific. Of the title, you should give the specific point of your research paper. So here some titles: a study of Bellridge Award framework using the applicant scoring data. You see, there is given the exact little point, applicant scoring data, using them in their studies. You see, that's the exactly simple point is taken in the title. And another example is a fuzzy multi-criteria approach for measuring sustainable performance of a supplier based on triple bottom line approach. See? And the next, affiliation. What is affiliation? The author affiliation should consist of the following as applicable in the order noted: company or college, postal address, city, state, zip code, and country name, and telephone, fax, and emails. Here you can see some samples of the affiliation of the Elsevier. to the Elsevier. And the abstract. As you know, any kind of research paper involves its abstract point. In the abstract is a 1 or 2 paragraph can be, and condensation, and about 150 or 20 words of the entire work described completely in the article. The abstract should be self-contained unit capable of being understood without the benefit of text. It should contain these 4 elements. An introduction, 1 to 2 sentence. In the abstract, you should give the introduction, and as you see here, the main point and the concluding part. It's a common structure for writing, in most cases, of course. The next one is the purpose of the study, the central question. A brief statement of what was done. You should give the message. A brief statement of what was found. It's the result of your research paper. And lastly, you should give a brief statement of what was concluded. This means discussion part. In the discussion part. And abstract shouldn't contain lengthy background information, references to other literature, abbreviations or terms that may be confusing to readers, any sort of illustration, figure or table, or references to them. 2 types of abstract. Here you can see structured and unstructured. Here the example of the structured abstraction, and you can see here the unstructured abstraction. That's the clear example to you, I guess. I found that. So the keywords of your elements of the research paper. These are metadata and keyword. The keywords should contain all the essential words and additional keywords from the full text, and all keywords should be in lowercase, and the keywords should preferably be separated by semicolons. That's the punctuation rules, And in the keywords, normal phrases should not be hyphenated. And lastly, plurals are preferred. An introduction. Your chance to convince readers of the importance of your work. Describe the problem. Are there any existing solutions? What are their main limitations, and what do you hope to achieve? Provide a perspective consistent with the nature of the journal. Introduce the main scientific publications on which your work is based. Editors hate references irrelevant to the work or inappropriate judgments on your own achievements. Never use more words than necessary. Excessive use of expressions such as novel, first name, first ever, paradigm changing, etc. And in the introduction part, introductions usually follow a funnel style, starting broadly, and then they get the narrow and narrower and narrower. This means that they should focus on the main point, exact point. And in the introduction part, you should provide sufficient context and background. And you should define terms. And in the introduction, we need to emphasize on our contribution and our new approach or idea. An introduction also may end with a roadmap paragraph. This paragraph outlines the remaining sections of the paper, in other words. So, literature review. Yes, one of the most important part of the literature review of the research paper. In this part, you should give all kind of researches or books which is related to the topic of the research paper. And in the literature review, an account of has been published on a topic by crediting scholars on researches. In other words, you can give this kind of definition. And And here is the two areas of the research paper: information seeking and critical appraisal. The methodology. In this part, you should tell the reader clearly how the results were obtained. Details, details, details. And reviews will criticize incomplete or incorrect descriptions otherwise. And you should explain why each procedure was done in your research paper. And results and discussions you should give in your research paper. The results section describes but does not interrupt the major findings of your experiment. Do not hide data in the hope of saving it for a later paper. Use subheadings to keep results of the same type together. Present the data using graphs and tables to reveal any trends that you found. And in the conclusion part of your research paper, you should not repeat the abstract. You should give in a paraphrasing verse and provide a clear scientific justification in your conclusion. And in acknowledgement in your research paper, you should give the end of a paper and should at a minimum mention the sources of the funding that contributed to the paper. So, references. Of course, any kind of research paper involves the references, and all reference works cited in the paper must appear in a list of references. And in APA style, of course, we talked at the previous lessons how to format the APA style citation. And if you have any questions about the citation, you can you can watch other movies, our other movies about the citation of the research paper. And in your references, you should use more valid references, more valuable and related books. You should give the books, journals to the topic. So, thank you for your attention. That was all. If you have any questions, you can write on the models. Thank you for your attention. Bye.